What's going on, fam? It's your boy AV, and welcome to Vlog Feast. Check this out. Starting today, I'm posting every single day until Thanksgiving. You heard right. We're going full feast mode all the way to the big day. We talking main dishes, side dishes, desserts, leftovers, everything that makes Thanksgiving the best food holiday of the year. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and roll with me every day from now until November 27th. So let's get it. All right, so listen, we're gonna kick this off, right? This is number one, and we're gonna start with the essentials. We making chicken stock, right? So look, as you guys can see, it's a few ingredients right here. You know, as we go over these, you guys know that everything that I do will be on my website. That's smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Don't trip, I got it lined out for you. And when I say essential, I mean essentials. Let's get it. All right, so listen, the first thing we're gonna do is, we got our ingredients out. I've already cleaned and washed them, my veggies and everything, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna come right here to my oven, right? We wanna go ahead and preheat the oven. So I'm gonna hit bake, and check this out. We're gonna do 425. Now we're gonna start it. This way we're gonna put some flavor on it, right? I'm gonna explain all that to you right now. So let me go ahead and get set up, and then let's move. All right, so as we building up temp in the oven, right? So look, I want you guys to pay attention down this way. You guys are gonna love this, because we always use chicken stock, or chicken broth, whatever we using, we usually buy that in the store, right? So I want you to pay attention right here. I got carrots, these already been washed. There is no need, folks, for you to go ahead and peel these or anything like that. And you see this piece right here? I'm gonna leave all of that on there. You don't have to cut them down small. We just wanna get them like this. And then these, I can actually cut these down like that. Now, celery has been washed. Let me go ahead and cut and break that down. So what I do is I just put them on here. I don't know, this piece is a little big for me. All right, so I just put them right here, right? Let's look at the celery. Here we go. Normally, I cut all of this off. My grandmama said I'm wasting stuff anyway, when she was here, but I'm gonna tell you like this. We're gonna leave all that on here, but this piece down here on the end, where it turned white, I don't know, if it's white like that, I wanna say it'll be a little bit on the bitter side. So I always cut that off anyway. And again, this has already been cleaned, folks. All right, so look, now we're gonna go ahead and cut this down, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quarter this. That's fine, we can break this down. I got a bulb right here of garlic. I'm getting ready to just cut this like this. This is what I'm talking about. You guys might have seen this like on Instagram or whatever, everybody be doing this. But this is how you make roasted garlic anyway, but you wanna cut them this way. And because this is so small, I'm gonna go ahead and just use both halves. If I had a bigger one, I'd only use a half. Then I had one that was already ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a little bit of a smash. Right, and then throw that in there also. Now, we got a lemon. Let me bring this over here. Right? Now I'm just gonna go ahead and, to be honest with you, that's enough. This is fine. I'm gonna give it just a little bit. It's gonna get on my pan, on some of the, veggies, and I'll just leave that in there just like that. I don't need that one. That was there for sure. And this one here, I'm gonna save this because I'm drinking iced tea all day. All right, so now I'm gonna take my chicken, right? Now, obviously, these are leg quarters. All right, I'm looking around. You see this little funky piece right here? And I got it. We finna boil it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I still like to clean it up. We don't need all of that extra fat in there, So I'll just take it, just clean it up a little bit. All right, this little funky piece. I could leave that. That's got meat on it. But even that little extra, little fat, slimy part, I just get rid of that. You see this right here? Now check this out. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna lay this right on top. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue to look at these. We got all that skin like this right here and this big piece of fat. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. Okay, so look, I'm up to temp. We at 425, everything is ready, right? So this is what we wanna do. You wanna get yourself some extra virgin olive oil and you wanna drizzle this over the top. Don't forget that we cut that bulb in half. I really wanna make sure I get some olive oil on there, right? So I'm gonna put some olive oil over everything. I'm not even gonna run my hand over it. I don't care if I get it on my lemon. Doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? We just want to get it on here. You want to be a little generous. This is going to help with the browning, right? Now, let me bring my kosher salt because we got to put a little kosher salt on this. Now, I'm going to tell it to you two ways. You do and you don't. for those of us that's really watching this is where you can just sprinkle on and control how much sodium you take inside of your body, right? You know, when you go to the store, they got the 33% less sodium in the stocks, right? Here, we can do no sodium in there. We can make our dish, and then we can add sodium to it, each individual dish, if that makes sense to you guys. But for me, I got it. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little, you gotta put something on here if you ask me. You know what I mean? But some of us, we have to watch it. So this is one way we can control it, right? So I just put a little bit on here like that, right? And we just leave it alone. Boom. Now, let's talk about why we getting ready to roast this. It's called Maillard. And so let me just explain it like this. What it does is it builds brownie and a deeper, slightly sweeter golden stock. And if you don't know what Maillard means, it's the results of flavors, aromas, and brown colors. And look, let me give it to you visually. You see this right here? This is what we buy in the store, right? You look at the light, it's like brown. I almost wanted to call it tan, but it's like a light brown color. Just wait to see what we make and how deep and rich and brown it's gonna be. So we put this in the oven, right? We're gonna put it in there for about, I'm gonna say, it can go up to an hour. It really depends on your oven. But what we wanna do is we wanna keep an eye on it, right? So I'm gonna say after about 35 minutes, let's take a look at it. What we're doing is we wanna brown it. We wanna make sure that we got some little bit of char on our veggies, and then we work from there. Okay, so listen, I just took it out of the oven, right? Got myself some tongs. You guys can see what it looks like right here. You see how it browns up? That right there is gonna help. Ooh, look at this. Now, here's the thing. You know, when we cooking and we doing anything and we have, say we making something and let me give you this example. Let's say we had cut down some andouille sausage, we put it in the cast iron skillet, right? You know how it leaves fine at the bottom? Well, this left some fine too. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna pick these up and put these in. If you guys wanna take a look at them, I'm gonna let you get up close and personal with them. We're gonna drop that in there because everything on here is going inside of this pot. Let's see if we can capture this. If I tap these, look, they already getting soft, look. You see that right there? That's what you want, folks. Celery, look at that. Color on there. Now let me get all of this in here. Remember the lemon? You guys should know this part right here from watching me when I do grill. You know, when I'm grilling, I love to grill, like lemons, put those on the grates, but look at that. All of this is the flavor. All right, so let me hurry up and get this in here. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about, you see this right here? This will be perfect to just show. I'm gonna get this up right here. Now remember, this was the bulb that I did in half, right? That goes in there. And you see that right there? I got a little scraper. We want to get up to fine. Now, let me finish doing this. Get this in here. Then we're gonna get the rest of it in there. We're gonna get that fine up. All right, I really want to show you guys that. You see all of that that's on there? Look, I just sweep all this down, push it all down, and you want to get it all in here. Again, we make it a stock. And then, obviously we're gonna use a strainer at the end to strain all of the, the big pieces out of there. And then we're gonna end up with some pure liquid gold. All right, so now that we got that in there, you guys can look and you can see it. I got everything up off of the, I used my scraper and got everything off of my pan, right? Now, right here, I'm getting ready to open up my rosemary. Let's get this open. I'm gonna go ahead and just add, you just need one of these rosemary. It's a little bit on the strong side. It's really up to you. To be honest with you, if you want to infuse it with all of these different herbs, you can. Over here, we got oregano. Now, oregano, I'm only gonna use a couple for sure. You know what I mean? And then everybody know when you use rosemary, a lot of times follow behind that, we got that thyme. And I don't know where you guys live at. You might have some of this growing outside of your house. You know what I mean? Because where I had moved to, they use thyme, as a decorative, what is that? A decorative shrub around the house. Low water, blah, 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 right? Then we got some peppercorns. Add those. I'm gonna add my bay leaves in last, I like for them to be on top. What I'm gonna do now is I got some hot water, right? We wanna add this to it. I might need to get some more, let's see. What we wanna do is we wanna cover this maybe I'm gonna say we wanna go about 2 inches. You know what I mean? So this was obviously a gallon. I'm looking at it right now. Ding, 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 pay this man. So look, a gallon of that works. Let me go in here. I'll just get a spoon right now. And what I wanna do is just get it because we had a little mound. Ah, this is him, folks. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is add those bay leaves right here on top. Don't worry, they're gonna rehydrate in my soapy water. I'm gonna bring this up to a boil. I'm gonna set it for a simmer. And listen to this, we're gonna put some time underneath it, right? We're gonna go for about 3 hours and we're gonna take a look at it. And after that, I'm gonna look at the color and determine if I wanna add a little bit more time to it. It never really goes past 4 hours, so I'm gonna say 3 to 4 hours. You guys already know, you already been on the website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com. That's WITAB.com. And I'll see you guys in 3. Okay, folks, look, we right at 4 hours. I'm getting ready to turn this off. Let me turn it off. I know if you guys looking at it from the overhead cam, we got a lot of steam, right? So let this condensation, move on, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, so look, I want you guys to take a look down in here. Look at the color. I'm gonna hold this here. I'm gonna hold this off to the side. Look at that color, and look at this down here. Now, we gotta go through the straining process. And I know you guys gonna ask me, what am I gonna do with this chicken? We just about took everything out of it. You guys can, save it, And then if we wanna do a broth, y'all hear me? You hear what I said? A broth. We can save that, debone it a little bit and put this in when we start doing broths. So let me go ahead and get all of this out, and then let me show you the straining process. All right, now that I removed the chicken out of there and the bones, which I could have left that in there, but I get the chicken out because I don't want it to clog up all of my pores, because I'm using a colander, right? So let me just show you the setup. I got a glass bowl here, colander here on top, right? And then I'm gonna work this way. So what better way to tell you than to show you? So now we just start pouring this in here like this. And then by having a colander, I can see exactly what goes in my bowl. You might have to do this in 2 processes, But right now we just get it like this. Let me see. All right. We got that going. Now I'm gonna pick this up. And as it strains, look, we catch most of the big stuff, right? Obviously. All right, so now I got my other strainer and I got my other glass bowl, right? This would be my step 2. And this is why they have these on here. That's what it did hang on here, folks, if you guys didn't know. I gotta tell you, at one point, when I found that out, I was like, oh, it all makes sense, right? So now if you pay attention, let me bring this over here so you guys can see. You can see it's got a little bit of what we use to season, right? Don't trip, we take that. Now we pour right here on top, right? Right here like that. Look at the strainer, see how it's catching all of that? Yes, sir. Now, earlier I made a reference to like eating with your eyes and all of that. You guys can look at this and tell. Look at this. This is what we made, right? As opposed to store-bought. I'm not gonna lie to you, store-bought has been working and gets us through, but anytime we wanna level up, especially because we got family coming, this is the way. All right, so just a couple of things. Next to last would be, I got these containers right here. I'll leave a link somewhere down in the description box, maybe pin it in the #1 comment. If you guys want to get these, you can have these ready to go. See how I got them separated? I'm probably gonna make a few more because like I say, I'm doing vlog feeds, right? So that means 27 days of cooking, right? And then I gotta have some for the other people that bring stuff to me, yada, yada, yada. Now you can use these. You guys can use masonry jars and all that. I promise you, I don't want to overtalk it no more, right? I just want to tell you guys this. This is the kickoff of Vlog Feast. We cooking, we laughing, we eating, and we doing it together. I'm out, y'all. Peace.